Hey there, Andrew Musselman from Fluency. I want to tell you my favorite quote about acting. The quote comes from James Cagney on the set of the movie 1, 2, 3, filmed in 1961. By this point, Cagney had been around for decades, and he was working with a young actor by the name of Pamela Tiffin. It was just her second movie, and she was only 19 years old. She was intimidated to be working with legends like Cagney and the director Billy Wilder. She thought she could never live up to their expectations. It was a classic case of imposter syndrome. So Cagney took her aside and he gave her this advice. Plant yourself, look the other fella in the eye, and tell the truth. Now that could be a little mini masterclass on handling presentation nerves. It's worth unpacking that quote, but what I love about it is the idea that authenticity beats performance every time. When you're presenting, you don't have to worry about being slick or polished or impressive. You just have to be genuine. But let's break this quote down, step by step. First, plant yourself. Our nerves manifest physically. We get short of breath, we tense up, our feet get fidgety, we go into fight or flight. That's why it feels like our bodies just want to run and hide. Plant yourself means hold your ground, claim your rightful space. When you decide to own your space and stand tall, you're not just going to look more confident, you're going to feel more confident too. And that's only going to improve your performance. Next, look the other fella in the eye. Make the effort to connect with your listeners. And this seems antithetical. You get nervous being in front of people, so it feels like the last thing you should do is force yourself to look at them. But if you try to cut yourself off and not pay attention to your audience, then you're just going to disappear into your own head. And that's where the gremlins live. On the other hand, if you make the effort to connect, if you talk to your listeners rather than at them, it's going to project a ton of warmth, and that's going to go a long way to getting those listeners on side. Finally, tell the truth. This is the authenticity piece. So often when we present, we worry about how we'll be judged, and we think we won't measure up. We put pressure on ourselves to be dynamic, impressive, captivating. Insert your favorite not enough word here. But if you try to be anything other than your natural self when you present, if you think you have to be something that you're not, then you're just going to fall short. And that's just going to make the imposter syndrome worse. Furthermore, we're incredibly intuitive, empathic listeners. We can tell when someone's not being genuine. Remember, your listeners aren't looking for you to come out and do backflips. They're just trying to figure out if they can trust you. And that all starts with being authentic. So the next time you present, don't let that evil imposter syndrome lead you down a path of thinking you have to be something that you're not. You're already good enough. Focus on standing tall, connecting with your listeners, and delivering your message clearly and authentically. Or plant yourself, look the other fella in the eye, and tell the truth. Oh, and if you want to know how Cagney's advice worked out for Pamela Tiffin, she was nominated for a Golden Globe for her performance in 1, 2, 3. So I'd say she got over her imposter syndrome just fine. How about you? Any experience with imposter syndrome? Drop a comment in the chat below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching. I'll chat to you soon.